In a theater that reveals your deepest fears, we'll see the stories of different people who will have to experience the movie of their nightmare. That's why today, Nightmare Cinema. If you enjoy the videos, support the channel by liking, subscribing, and enabling notifications. It's free and it really helps me keep growing. All right, let's begin. In our first story, Samantha breaks up with her boyfriend Jason over the phone. She sees a movie theater where they give her a free ticket, so she decides to go in and sits where it's lit because it seems like she can't get up. Then a movie starts where she's the main character, fleeing through a blood-soaked forest until she falls onto a corpse, which she then uses as a curtain to hide from a guy with an axe. And there she meets Jason, who is also hiding, but he tells her that everyone else is dead, so they have to keep running. They eventually reach the road and flag down a police car for help, but it's Officer Tom, who apparently doesn't get along with the boy. The officer believes them after seeing Samantha covered in blood and puts him in the patrol car. When he arrives, the killer tries to stop him, but he shoots the killer, leaving him on the ground. And when he takes off his mask, he can't believe what he sees, so he tries to run away, but he trips and shoots himself in the head. But our protagonist won't just stand by. So Jason breaks the window to look for the car keys, but the guy gets back up. The couple runs to a cabin with their friend Mike and tells him what's happening. But it's already too late. The killer arrives and throws a hammer at the guy before he can shut the door. When Jason sees a shotgun, he grabs it, but Mike wants to take it instead. Mike talks too much, so the guy stabs him with a crowbar, and then his friend shoots him, hoping the bullets will hurt the welder, but that doesn't happen. They start fighting as Samantha finds a basement, goes down, and sees several corpses the man collected. The armor saves him, so he kills the guy, stabbing him with all the kitchen knives and burning him. Meanwhile, our protagonist arms herself. And so they start fighting with the girl having the advantage until she finally manages to overpower him, and she takes off the mask. He says he's Fred, her neighbor she's known since childhood. He then shares his side of why they went to the cabin that weekend. And suddenly a comet fell from the sky, so everyone went to see it. Although Jason decided to touch it, releasing a swarm of spiders. They crawled into everyone's mouths except for him, who ran to a workshop. However, one of the spiders got in, but he managed to get rid of it. So he decided to arm himself to eliminate the infected, until only she was left. Even the spider reveals it controls her, so he must kill her to prevent any extraterrestrial traces. Fred spends the night killing spiders, then drives his car the next day. However, it's clear he's also been controlled. In a scene change, we meet Anna and David, a couple who sneak into the movies to get intimate. A movie starts playing, and this time, she's the main character. But she doesn't like looking at herself in the mirror because of a scar on her face. So she talks to her boyfriend because she'll meet his mother soon. Although she didn't know, the lady had set up a surgeon's appointment for her scar. Later, she visits Dr. Mirari, who promises a total transformation and claims David's mother is his masterpiece. And with this, he takes away her fears, assuring her that it will be a great decision. They operate on her, so she looks beautiful at her wedding. But everything turns dark since it's actually the girl's dream. After she wakes, the nurse tells her to rest and calm down, and her boyfriend promises a solo trip once she recovers. When she falls asleep again, he takes strange pictures of her. She later sees him arguing with the doctor before he enters and says they need another operation to fix her breathing problem. She spends the night there, unable to talk to anyone since they don't let her call. Hours later, she removes the treatment to follow the nurse, waiting for her to leave so she can check her file, as David wants more procedures. She keeps walking until she enters a room and sees a woman whose face has only a mouth. She tries to escape, fighting the nurse for the exit card, but fails. Dr. Mirari is waiting downstairs to knock her out and perform a special operation for her misbehavior. The next day, she's with David, who tells her that her mother came to visit her. However, when the girl looks in the mirror, she sees she is completely deformed. Her mother-in-law has had so many surgeries that she can't tell who's worse. However, we see that Anna stops watching the movie without David there, so she goes up to the projection room, where she meets the projectionist. He says his mission is to reveal people's greatest fears, so he won't let her go. In a scene change, we meet Father Benedict, who wonders why his name is in the theater. So he goes in to see the same man before showing him his movie, in which he sees a boy about to jump off the church roof. Unfortunately, Sister Patricia goes up to help, but it's too late because the boy, who seems possessed, still falls to his death. Later, Sister Cindy cares for her daughter Danny, impacted by the boy's death. She's in her room when a cross falls, so she goes to investigate. On the other hand, we see that the father is making love with Sister Patricia until they hear something. The woman expresses concern for Danny when someone knocks on the door. But there's no one there, and as they walk, they follow traces of blood until they find a face on the floor. The next day, the girl is upset when others bother her. When they try to grab her, she flies away, spitting out her teeth. She sees the demon behind her, which terrifies her. At night, all the girls wake up crying blood, then return to sleep. Patricia investigates and discovers a demon named Meshid is stalking them. She tells the priest, but he doesn't believe her until the dead boy appears, claiming Danny is possessed and must be killed. Later, they ask her to do an exorcism, but her mother intervenes to stop it. They realize it's not the girl, but Cindy, who has the demon. They want to possess Danny because she controls the other girls. The priest checks on her and finds she's already in bed. When attacked, they must flee to room A, where everyone pursues them with murderous intent. However, Benedict won't die without a fight. So he starts fighting against the girls, whom he kills mercilessly because he has to save himself. Patricia follows the possessed girl to the rooftop and, unlike before, saves her this time as the father begins enjoying the fight, because it seems that the demon is giving him the strength to kill them all. Unfortunately, he ends up dying from being stabbed at the same time that Patricia falls with the woman, although she manages to survive. Meanwhile, the other kids see Danny when his mom arrives, since the demon is with Patricia's sister. What happens when the father wakes up? In the theater, the projectionist is behind him to attack. In another scene change, this time we go to Helen's story, who arrives at the theater and finds a ringing phone. She ignores it and sits down to watch her movie, which is in black and white. She ends up in a waiting room, speaking with a secretary since Dr. Salvador is unavailable. She goes to calm her children, who want to leave. When she talks to her again, she finds her completely dirty but isn't surprised. She suggests rescheduling, but Dr. Salvador is suddenly available. She tells him her children have been very mature since their father left. This happened just 2 days ago. She also feels bad, as she often sees people deformed for no reason. Salvador tells her to return tomorrow since he has a meeting now. She leaves and notices her children aren't there. She follows a strange being, the receptionist, who says she hasn't seen any children. She enters a bathroom, but the janitor ignores her, not having seen anything, despite her threatening him with a strange weapon. She keeps seeking answers from the deformed people until she calls her husband, who clearly doesn't want to talk to her. And there she decides to kill herself, but she hears her children talking to the doctor. So she gets closer and hears that they're planning her death. She's so unstable that she takes her own life, with the children even loading the gun. As a result, Helen goes in to kill the man and then take her children home. She appears in the theater again, secretly carrying a gun she uses to kill herself in reality. Now we meet Riley, a boy who enters the theater to play eerie piano music, when his movie starts playing, in which he is performing for several people. Later, they head to their car, where his parents congratulate him for composing the song he performed. And without warning a man, he comes out from the back to threaten him, although the man does everything he can to avoid it. As a result, he ends up dead, followed by his wife. He buys time for the boy to escape, but the man catches up and shoots him as well. In a scene change, we see that the doctors arrived in time to save his life. Hours later, he wakes up to his mother and a doctor who gives recovery instructions. He's surprised to hear the doctor talking to her. At night, he sees his bedmate after knocking over his water and gets scared seeing him up close, but he also gets up to recommend that he go back because he could hurt himself. At that moment, the nurse appears to take him to his bed because no one is there. But when she arrives, she sees that the man has just died. A while later, He sees his mother again, who tells him that everything will be fine, but she wants him to go with her. While the nurse wakes him to take him to a room, she mentions they found him dead, but the doctor saved him. Strangely, he sees a bloodied couple pass through his stretcher because they're ghosts. At night, the killer returns to finish his job, although he is interrupted by another nurse. Riley runs out of the room and sees many ghosts when Casey, another patient who can also see them, appears, because everyone returned from the dead can see them. Then he returns to bed, saying he saw his mother asking him to come with her. So it makes her doubt whether it's a good option or not. In the morning, he wakes up with his mother, who asks him to come with her, but the girl appears to stop him because she wanted to kill him. But when the nurse arrives, she heads to her room, not expecting visitors. And unfortunately, they find Casey dead, believing she committed suicide. Hours later, our protagonist goes to the bathroom and encounters the killer. So he defends himself as best he can until he manages to escape. When he asks the nurse for help, he realizes she's dead and hides in the morgue beside Casey's body. There, the killer searches for him, but not finding him, leaves, letting Riley escape. He finds him in a room and starts to suffocate him. Despite his mother's plea to stop, Casey urges him on, giving him the strength to kill him, and the guy fights to survive. Hours later, they find him there to take him away. Although after seeing some ghosts of the girl with her family, he also sees the killer's ghost, because he won't let him sleep peacefully. When Riley wakes up in the theater, the projectionist tells him that he's still alive, although he shows him the rest of the people who are still in the theater watching their nightmares. But he doesn't let him go, saying that he won't be able to escape the future anyway. Then the man puts the boy's film away along with the others, because he has a warehouse full of tapes with people's darkest nightmares. This was Nightmare Cinema. Remember to like, comment which movies you want, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming videos.